Okay, friends, so I know I look a hot mess, but that's because I just had a complete meltdown. Um, I hate even talking about this. So, Hurricane Helene is now projected to be a Category 4 at landfall, and it is headed directly for our property in Florida, and also where my family is right now. And after Hurricane Michael in 2018, I swore I would never, ever ride out another one away from my family. After that storm in 2018, power lines were down, or phone lines were down rather. There was no communication for a couple days. I had to watch news reports and see buildings completely obliterated, and the panic that set in, the fear. I cannot do that again. So I was going to go ahead and go down to Florida from Nashville, and I talked myself out of it. I tried to be logical, reasonable, and I was like, no, there's no need. I just need to stay here so that way I can gather supplies if need be and come in after the storm. But this storm is headed straight to Nashville. So not only is our property in Florida going to get impacted, but our home in Nashville, it's going to be here a few days later. And so I won't be able to get out, possibly. I mean, it's just going to be nasty weather up here. It'll obviously start dissipating as it goes further inland, but it's going to be really nasty, and there's going to be high winds and storms, and Nashville already has its tornadoes all the time. So it's just going to be a rough couple days with some gross weather, and I won't be able to drive down if anything catastrophic were to happen. So I just got off the phone with my family. They're all staying. They're not leaving. And, you know, when you have a family filled with first responders, that's kind of what happens. They don't have a choice. They kind of have to stay. And anywhere that they would go nearby, close enough to get back if need be, is in the range of the storm. So there's really nowhere for them to go at the moment for our family dynamic. They kind of have to stay nearby. So anyway, my mom does not want us driving, but I know my nerves and I know myself, and I can't do this again. So we have hatched a plan, and yeah, I think we are going to pack up right now, and it's about 5:30 on Wednesday night. We're going to drive overnight, and we are buying a flight for Craig out of Panama City directly back to Nashville in the morning. We have some events this week, some things he has to do here, but so that neither of us have to drive by ourselves, especially me overnight in rough weather, we're going to drive through the night directly to the airport and drop him off for his flight. He's going to fly back to Nashville, be home by 9, and able to work our event tomorrow night. And I'll be right there at the airport and can just be to our place in Florida by 7:30, because he has to be at the airport by 6:30, and 7:30 in the morning it's just supposed to be some rain, but nothing super severe until closer to lunchtime. So that's the plan. I know it seems crazy, but on the go with the Joes, right? Let's do it.
The flight.
After securing Craig's flight and packing up really quickly, we made a quick run to Harbor Freight to grab some supplies in case they were needed. We also made a quick snack run for the road trip. We finally got on the road a little after 10 p.m. And of course we had to stop at Buc-ee's for a quick refuel of the car and the coffee.
"2:15 in the morning, and we are in Montgomery, almost to Montgomery. We're like 8 miles to Montgomery. We stopped for a potty break and to get gas one more time, just in case it's hard to fill up when we get closer to the storm. So we're making it okay. I'm starting to get really sleepy, and yeah, it's going good so far. My mother is going to kill me when I show up in the morning, because she said, "Do not drive in this. I don't want you driving in this." Well, technically she said she doesn't want me driving alone in this, and I'm not alone. Craig's with me, so I can't really get in trouble, right? Because Craig is with me. So technically I was not alone, and yeah, I'll only be alone for like the last hour of the trip, and that shouldn't be too bad. So anyway, my plan is to tell her that if it's not such a bad storm that they didn't leave, then it shouldn't be so bad that I could come in. So anyway, we're getting closer. We made it to the airport. Oh my gosh.
Alright y'all, I made it to the gate, so just waiting on my flight. It's a full flight, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay, it is 6:42 and I am almost home.
You may be wondering exactly why I would drive into a storm like this. This is the result of having severe anxiety and PTSD from a Category 5 hurricane. I wouldn't normally do this, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, and luckily it worked out. But this is what happens when you're scared to death.
Good morning. Hello there. Hello. Good.
I knew I was in trouble with my mother, so my sister-in-law let me take a quick nap at her place before we had to break the news. You rang?
I did.
I was trying to sleep.
What are you doing? What time did you get here?
What time was it? It was
Almost 7.
6:40, 6:45.
This morning.
I didn't. You told me do not drive alone.
When you did not answer me this morning, I said, she better not be on her way. I knew when you didn't answer and you didn't call back, there was a problem.
I was asleep. I've been asleep on the couch. And I did not. You said do not drive alone, and I did not drive alone.
Uncle CJ Bongo.
Uncle CJ drove with me,
And now he's back in Nashville.
and he's back home in Nashville.
Already? He's already back home in Nashville?
We drove to the airport. We drove straight to the airport, and he jumped on a flight back, and then I drove from the airport here. The sun was up. It wasn't even raining. No harm, no foul.
She obeyed.
I did exactly what you said. Huh?
You did not let me know that.
I know. I wanted you to get a good night's rest.
Things y'all do.
Mm.
I knew gonna end up getting on the road. Just gonna end up getting on the road. Okay, you went against your mother.
No.
What I said to do.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
You said do not drive alone. She said do not drive alone. I did not drive alone.
I didn't tell you to drive. Period.
Well, I didn't drive. I did not drive, technically. I never drove.
So your husband had to drive all the way.
No, he didn't have to. He volunteered.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. I would have too. Hey, Jennifer.
Uh-oh. Yes, ma'am?
You know.
You're breaking up, Mama. I can't understand you.
No, I'm not breaking up, Jennifer. Did you know that they were
Mama.
on their way?
Mama.
You're cutting out.
No, I'm not playing this game.
I think
Mama.
the service is terrible.
Hello.
Jesus is watching. Yeah, Jennifer Daniels, answer my question. Did you know that they were on their way?
Yes.
You're such a terrible liar.
But Jesus is
Did
watching.
my son know? Cody Daniels know.
No, I was the only one. But I was up most of the night. She shared her location. I was watching them. It was fine.
Is CJ back home?
CJ has already landed in Nashville.
And he's laying down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All is well.
All right.
Call your son-in-law, because I know you always listen to him.
I will. Bless his heart. He's a good man.
It was his idea.
Really?
Well, he agreed to it.
After you cried how long?
I didn't cry. I was not crying at all. I asked him what to do.
And he was looking at flights with me and everything.
That is so sweet, JJ. Well, I'm glad you're here safely.
I know. I figured you would.
I love you.
Love you.
Give me a hug.
Lucky for us, Hurricane Helene ended up shifting eastward and we were spared. There was quite a bit of rain and wind and some mild flooding, but fortunately nothing too damaging. Our Florida neighbors over in the Big Bend were not so lucky. Yet again, the areas of Perry and Steinhatchee and Horseshoe Beach were destroyed by another catastrophic storm. As you know by now, the storm would continue northward into Georgia, North Carolina, and eastern Tennessee, causing devastating impacts. With your support, we were able to do a blanket drive and deliver over 500 blankets to the victims of East Tennessee and North Carolina. Stay tuned for that episode coming up soon as we travel to Unicoi, Tennessee, and go behind the scenes with those on the ground serving the victims of Hurricane Helene.